Yeah, if we think about this as just one event, that's not what it's about. This has to be something that continues and that grows. Not that it's going to be the next Burning Man, because who wants to run out in the desert? So I'm not going to give up my internet connection. I'm not going to give up air conditioning. No. Oh yeah. But at the same time, if EsoZone continues to grow and we become this event where people are willing to share their own art, their own music, their ideas, and we're willing to talk about all the different ways that we approach the esoteric and the occult, and bring it out in the open and then take that energy forward, we're going to become something that that continues to alter our lives and make our lives better, and continue to alter the culture and make the culture more livable. And that would be the perfect end result in my mind. Now, I don't know why I am here other than I was told to be here and I helped to organize. I don't know why I was given the closing speech, because I'm a writer, not a speaker. Honestly, I've spoken to more people in the last few days than I've done in years, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. But at the same time, that's also why we're here, is to push our envelope of what we're comfortable with. And if I'm putting myself out here, you know, I normally am hidden behind a computer screen and people talk to me in chat, and sometimes I'm drunk when I talk back to you, sometimes I'm so wired on caffeine I can't sit still, and all you guys see is text, right? You don't get the energy behind it. So, as I'm up here, you can see that I'm vibrating and that I'm antsy and that I'm moving back and forth, but I'm doing it. I'm going to go through with it. I want you guys to do the same thing. Say, what is it that I'm uncomfortable with, that I think I should do to grow as a person, and go out there and fucking do it. When we bring this back to magic, I want to talk for a minute about magic. I understood magic first off as, you know, causing change in accordance with will, that whole Crowley thing. But when you come back to magic and say, well, what else can I use it for? What is my will? Then you start, what is change? You know, what is a change? If we're living in a post-causal environment where there is no cause and effect, then how can anything be changed, or how can will change anything? So when I first approached magic, I came to it from the point of, I am sick to death of religion. And when I picked up ceremonial magical texts, and I'm supposed to fill out the holy names of God, I'm just not going to go there. So I had to figure out new ways to approach magic. Chaos magic was really important because it gave us this sigil, God form, servitor, egregor model where you could build up from your own associations. You could build into spiritual entities that are just popping off your psyche and that you're sending out to do things. And you don't need to rely on an angelic model. You don't need to rely on an animist model. You can actually pull it totally out of yourself. So that gave me a whole new perspective on magic. It doesn't have to be religious. You could actually have secular magic for atheists. You can deal with neuro-linguistic programming as a way to alter your consciousness and to perform actions on your subconscious and on your unconscious mind without ever having to use Hebrew or the Kabbalah. And that broadened the area of magic. That broadened the idea of the esoteric. And to be honest, I blame all of this on the whole Discordian movement. I blame all of this on chaos. This event was dedicated to the memory of Robert Anton Wilson, who passed earlier this year. And I'm willing to bet that Robert Anton Wilson was probably one of the primary inspirations for most of the people in this audience. I'd be willing to bet. I may be wrong. Chaos. Yes. But it's not just him. I mean, without Anton LaVey, like, challenging our ideas of what good and evil are and creating this whole this persona, and how powerful a persona can be in the media. Even after he's gone, people are still like, oh, it's fucking Anton LaVey. You know, he was able to project himself into media to the point where it stays there, and he did that with showmanship, and he did that with magic. And he probably wasn't calling up the names of God when he was doing that, I wouldn't bet. we have these people, these rebels and these devils in our history that have challenged mainstream society in such a way that they've created this conceptual space that we can move in. That's what's important. That's what we take this into. And the internet is nothing but conceptual space. And also, the internet, from what I can tell throughout the 90s and up to now, was primarily populated by people who had these anarchist and these libertarian ideas. That the Church of the Subgenius and the Discordians were one of the first people I ever saw on the internet. So the internet... so this growth...
Great slack.
So if we're starting from this point where we've created this conceptual space and we're meeting in these new networks, these meat space networks are growing out of the internet, this is something entirely new. There's people here from all over the world, essentially. Last night watching all of the work that Paul Lafferty has, and his work is amazing. It has... is amazing, and it has a lot of that same thing. It goes beyond just being a painting. It's actually almost a download of information with images and words and all these things. It's taking that same thing that I see in comic books, and it's using it to express philosophical truths and to show like the metaphysics of architecture. And he's using that medium in ways that I think all of us should be re-examining the way that we transmit data to each other, the way that we interact with each other, and we need to learn from these forms. We need to learn from collage and bricolage what it is that accident and chaos and synchronicity can bring to the table. We need to learn how you cut into the present so the future leaks out, like Burroughs said. We need to learn how to grow beyond the forms that we're forced to endure because of the society that we're in. And to do that, we have to take what we're given and break it apart and examine it. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're hopefully going to continue to do. And if this ever stops, if we ever get to the point where we just get bored and wander off from trying to evolve as humans, I don't really want to be a part of that culture. I want to be a part of a culture that says, how much better can I become? How much better can I help people become around me? And how, well, honestly, how do we get the hell off this planet? Because if we are the only source of life in this galaxy, and the sun goes supernova, that's it, game over. You know, we need to look beyond just our own sphere, and I mean that literally, our own sphere of life, as to how much farther we can go, both as a species, and kind of as a consciousness. Now we're not quite there. However, we are conditioned by the society we're in, and if we want to be free people, we need to be able to accept or disregard that conditioning of our own free will. Not accept it just simply because everyone else is doing it, but actually question our own involvement in our own conditioning in this culture. So one of the things that I think is important too is that EsoZone has created a space where people are free to express these ideas and express just how far you can push something. Express just how much more free we could be if we were willing to not ask permission to do something, but rather ask, how dangerous is it? Like, yeah. So this is why I guess I ended up here, is because I decided that this was going to happen and I really wanted to come, and a lot of other people went into a lot of effort to make this thing happen. I'm here because you guys made this place. I'm here because you guys wanted this to happen, and we're all here because we all wanted to be here. That's a huge statement. I mean, this is not a sanctioned event. This is not an entertainment event. This isn't a rock concert. This is something weird. This is something very, very strange. And